How are you? Well, today, K is for kindness. You might be thinking, well, I don't need any help to be free to be kind. And I'm sure you don't. But let me ask, are you always feeling kind? Are you always showing yourself at your best? You know how when we get into our heads about something and we start worrying about something, and then maybe we're in the supermarket and we're thinking about the thing we've got to do, and we're pushing the trolley around, and as we're pushing the trolley around, we just want to barge everybody out of the way because everybody's in the way and we're in a hurry, and don't they know that? Or is that just me? So I'm talking about those kind of times when you're maybe not at your kindest, or maybe you speak a little bit harshly to someone that you care about. Now, we've all done that, haven't we? You know, you've got, again, you may have a lot on your mind. You might be thinking about something. You might be in the middle of something, and you snap. Yeah. Now, that's not very kind, is it? Or how about when you might say to somebody, I don't know, they might say, you know, how do they look in an outfit? And you might say, well, you look better in the other one. And then you might be honest, but you don't feel very kind in that moment. So when I'm talking about kindness, I'm talking about you being the best you. And the best you is when you don't have a lot on your mind. So we can use the very fact that we have a reaction to people being in the way, to traffic jams, to being interrupted, or whatever else it might be. We can use all that as an indication that we're in our heads, can't we? That we can see that we're being distracted by the thoughts that are in our heads and not by the other people. Or how about when we feel hurt by somebody else? You know, if we think that somebody has spoken harshly to us, then we might not have very kind thoughts about them, might we? And, you know, as we know, we're always feeling our thinking. So if we're not having kind thoughts about someone, I don't think we're probably acting in the nicest way either. So all of these things are just invitations for you to notice when you're not being very kind to other people, or even in your head. You don't even have to say anything to them, but you know, you just can feel that feeling of frustration or irritation or anything that takes you away from kindness. So I just like you, when you have any of those feelings, to notice them. It's just to notice them. And then again, like we always say, it's like, oh, I'm back there again. Oh yeah, okay. But the most important thing about kindness that I want to talk about today is, how kind are you to yourself? Because, you know, you may be the milk of kindness to everybody else. You may not have any upsetting thoughts about what someone is doing to you or saying to you, or the way you're thinking about them. But to yourself, this is an area we often fall down in. What kind of things do you say to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Are you kind to yourself? If you're tired, do you rest, or do you still keep going because there are things to do, meals to cook, children to pick up, stuff, until you're totally worn out? Do you do things for you? How much time do you spend doing something for you? Now, that even could be 10 minutes picking up a book, or it could be half an hour watching something that you're watching on a box set on Netflix. How many times do you just give yourself time? And as I mentioned earlier, how about the things that you say to yourself? Do you say kind things to yourself? I'm not talking about looking in the mirror and saying, oh, you look so beautiful today. I'm just talking about noticing when you tell yourself that maybe you tell yourself, oh, you know, you're stupid, or you're fat, or you're ugly, or you're old, or you're too young, or whatever you would tell yourself. They're the kind of things I want you to notice. Just notice that you're being really unkind to yourself. And just in the same way that I want you to notice when you're not having the kindest thoughts about other people, please notice when you're not having kind thoughts about yourself. And when you notice it, oh yes, that again, I'm not doing that anymore, or whatever occurs to you. Because when you're kind to yourself, when you're nice to yourself, you're going to probably have nicer thoughts, and you're probably going to have more kindness towards other people. It radiates out. It's like a little stone dropped in water, and away it goes. So please be free to be kind. Okay, bye bye.